Thank you for tuning in to Talkwad.com, the world's fastest growing internet radio network. Please check out all the other great shows on www.talkwad.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
But I get nowhere. I'm a wreck, but I'm having a ball. Got friends in high places, but I'm stuck to the ground, and I still got 2 meters to fall. Burn the bridges that I need the most, and watch the water grow too deep to board. Plan ideas, but the plans collapse. To be hell, they win his stores. I age a little, I'm still immature. I'm a mess with a smile, but I'm feeling fine. And if you're willing, there's a cure.
You're now listening to Level 3 Radio.
All right, everybody, welcome to Level 3 Radio. I'm back after a week off, and hey, we had a clip show. Shout outs to Frodo for putting that together for me. Thank you so much, man. That sounded awesome. I was glad to hear that we weren't leaving the fans hanging. So cool. Live on Talkwad Radio, on the Nerdcore Network. Shout out to my buddies Buddha and Adam from Nerdorama. All right, guys. So today we actually have a guest. He's been on the show before. I'm bringing him back via phone interview. We got the Honorable Judge Roy Kirby of the guest stars and of Ribcage fame. Is going to be coming on and talking about some of the projects he's working on recently, some of the new stuff. I've been listening, catching up on it, and man, this guy he's such a dynamic musician. He's written music kind of all over the map, and it all seems to be pretty good. Some of it's flashes of brilliance, but it's always consistently good. And he got on this kind of hip hop thing. He's always listened to it, and he's got on this kick where he wanted to make it. And it's gotten progressively better and better and better. And man, I was listening to his recent stuff, and it's just, I'm continually impressed. So shout outs to the Honorable Judge Roy, jumping on a little bit here. And once he gets on, just kind of want to give him a proper interview and talk to him about what he's doing. But I kind of want to get some maybe some news stuff out of the way first, so I'm not infringing on his time there. Maybe a couple other people calling in too. Start out with some funny news stuff, just kind of get us going here. So over the holidays, one of the things I like to do is watch. It's a kind of a new tradition with the fiance to watch Charlie Brown's Christmas. It's a nice wholesome family thing. Kind of watch that while we're decorating the tree and that sort of thing. But it's actually kind of some bad news here. The voice actor who plays Charlie Brown was just arrested recently. I'm gonna pull up this so I get some details, but he was arrested recently, and I know when I saw the news article, I was like, man, that's kind of like my childhood. That's sad, and dang, sucks. Arrested in California. Let's see. Charged Wednesday with stalking and threatening his former girlfriend and a plastic surgeon who gave her breast enhancement. He actually paid for the breast enhancement before the relationship ended. Not the kind of stuff that I want to associate in my brain with a Charlie Brown Christmas and the classic Charlie Brown character. But nonetheless, I guess the reality sometimes kind of breaks apart. A little bit sad, but hey, that's all right. On a little bit of a upbeat news, upbeat as in funny. So there's Last week, a 64-year-old man in England, drunk man, obviously. That's how all the great stories start out, right? Spotted a snowman on the street. And most of us would be like, hey, great, cool snowman. Cool snowman. All right. Maybe I'll go home and make one myself, right? No, this guy decides he wants to have sex with it. So he destroys the snowman having sex with it, probably much to the dismay of the children who made it. The next morning, I hope they didn't see it. Damn. But I guess he got what was coming to him. He actually wound up with frostbite on his nether regions, shall we say. Hospital saying that it may have to be amputated, but so far he is still in one piece. So, 64-year-old man in England got away with having relations with a snowman. Oh God, that's pretty bad. So, a little bit of a brief story. So last week I was up in Wisconsin and Michigan seeing family. I flew up there to kind of see the fiance, see all my friends and stuff, and get some wedding planning stuff done. Shout out to weddings. Hey, good on Roy Kirby when he jumps on the call here. He is actually engaged too. I think in like my second show ever, I talked about that. He had me. He actually allowed me to play him and his fiance's song, like their relationship, their song. I played it on guitar while he proposed to her. It was like one of the best moments. It was so cool that I got to do that for him. And yeah, shout out to him. Good on Roy and Paris. They're awesome people, and they're gonna have a pretty badass wedding. Maybe we'll talk about that. I don't know if I want to or not, but all right. So, one more piece of news. Apparently, in Ohio, there's a cleaning fairy. A woman named Susan Warren, known as the Cleaning Fairy. She's made a habit of breaking into people's homes and cleaning them. And then just leaving. She just breaks in and cleans them. Apparently, she's been arrested in November of last year. Oh, no, wait. In November of last year, she was sentenced to 1 year of probation for breaking into a home, cleaning it, and leaving a $75 bill on a napkin. I don't know. Like, if somebody broke into my house and cleaned it, I'd probably be like, well, first of all, obviously, like, when my fiance's in town, it's pretty clean. I made her a chart that showed her the cleanliness of our apartment. And when she's there, it's at like a 10. When she leaves, it's at like a 7. And then like 2 days after she's gone, it's probably down to like a 1 or a 2. Which raises, for 2 reasons. One, when she's about to head home, I'll clean it up again. Or the other reason that I'll clean it up, like really, really clean it up, is if we're gonna Skype. But then it's not like fully clean because I just like clean the area in the room that we're gonna Skype. I don't know if anybody else does that. Like if you're gonna Skype somebody, because I know like video conferencing, video chatting is getting more and more prevalent. How often do people clean up just the one area of the room, which looks completely opposite the rest of the house? I bet that happens quite often. It's pretty funny. It's kind of like the equivalent for the home of like telecommuting for work, but wearing like just a shirt and no pants. Or like a news anchor. I bet you that happened. I bet you that did happen. Somebody's been on TV before with no pants and nobody knew it. I guarantee it's happened. I want to be that guy. Next week when I come back and do my show, hey, I'm sorry, Frodo, but I think I might not wear pants. Is that cool? That's cool with you?
It's your dime.
We're in separate rooms, so if you want to come and not wear pants, as long as you keep them on when I'm in there before the show and after. But if you want, if you want to take your pants off too, we'll have a relaxed show next week.
It's a deal. It's casual Thursday.
I love it. Casual Thursday. I'm down. All right, you heard it here first. Next show is going to be me with no pants. Frodo's going to be in the control room with no pants. Call in. He'll do whatever you want. All right, I was going to wait and see if he'd respond. Nope. That means he's on board. He's on board. He'll do whatever you want. Whatever you want.
I'm not on camera. I'll do whatever.
Well, I'll turn the camera around. If it's good enough, I'll come point the camera back in the control room. If we get some calls. I think I got a guest next week. I don't want to announce it too early in case something falls through and I have to switch it. But I think I got a guest lined up for the next 3 weeks actually. So that's awesome. Calling in a few minutes is going to be Honorable Judge Roy Kirby again. If you're just tuning in, if you want to call in a little bit later, maybe ask some questions. I want to give him a proper interview, so I'm going to give him at least a few questions. But then if we want to turn it out and get some people. On the air, then they can ask Roy some questions as well. The number is 727-493-2055. Yeah. Roy's got a few songs he's going to play. I'm pretty excited. Hey, just so you know, in case you didn't, because you probably didn't, the intro song that we play is actually called Zipper Down Angelina by the Guest Stars, and the intro voice is Roy Kirby. So I thought it fitting that my first musician guest that I had on here would be Roy Kirby. All right. Hey, I got a joke of the week. I'll do it. I'm getting some text requests. Got a joke of the week. It's from Caitlin Barshaw in Michigan. It's so funny now that I'm rereading it. All right, what does the nosy pepper do? Frodo, any guesses?
I have no idea.
What does the nosy pepper do? It gets jalapeno business.
Wow.
Yeah, man, I just said that on the air. That's so funny. Oh, yeah.
I gotta remember that. I love bad jokes.
It's so good. All credit goes to Caitlin Barshaw in Lansing, Michigan. It's pretty sweet. I think I'm going to have actually when we were up there and we were at dinner and she said that joke and I realized that I definitely need to have at least one joke every week, like a just ridiculously off the wall joke. I'm going to do it. Look out. Oh man, I got some news I really want to talk about, but I got to wait till Roy comes on. I guess I can bring it back up because he'll be on in just a few minutes. I think 9:45 when he's going to be calling, but I'll bring it back up. What do you think about this, Frodo? The Roots and Elvis Costello are going to be making an album. It's coming out later this year.
Well, I love Elvis Costello. I'm not a big Roots fan, but I respect their music.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It sounds like a good collaboration.
Oh, man. It's going to be sweet.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited. I guess it's because Elvis Costello came on the Late Night with Jimmy Fallon show. And that show is so cool for music because they always do something dynamic, the Roots do. And whenever they have like an artist on, they'll kind of like bleed the music together. And a lot of them just play with the Roots. And I guess they had such good chemistry that they decided they were going to make an album together. And that's just such like a weird mashup. Like, I mean, it's kind of weird, but it's kind of not weird at the same time because they're both like fantastic artists. And the Roots have like full instrumentation, and Elvis Costello has so much depth and like so much texture in his music that they can. It's gonna be amazing. I can already tell. I'm gonna ask Roy what he thinks because I think those two blends are right up his alley. So I'm wondering what he'll say. Shout out to the Nerd World. We got this news article. God, I wish I had like a way to put it up. Like, I wish we had a way to like put a web page on. You know what? I'll put a link to it on level3radio.tumblr.com so you can check it out. But it's basically celebrity Pokemon evolutions, and they're through like celebrity stars, and then it compares them to the Pokemon. It's hilarious. Damn, I guess it's a visual thing though. That's all right. One takes Ellen Page to Janine Garofalo to Roseanne Barr. That's pretty good. Jonah Hill morphs and becomes Seth Rogen and then becomes Zach Galifianakis. Bailey Madison, I don't know who the hell this is, but she morphs, the little girl morphs into Justin Bieber, who morphs into Ellen DeGeneres. Igglybuff, Jigglypuff, and then Wigglypuff. Kind of funny. God. Awesome. Oh, man. NFL Super Bowl coming up. There's a sweet article I was just reading. Apparently, this guy trademarked the phrase "Harbowl," and like last year during the conference finals, trademarked the phrase "Harbowl" because he thought the possibility may come up that the two Harbaugh brothers who coach the Ravens and the 49ers may play each other in the Super Bowl. I thought he could cash in. That's like the people who like buy the websites before political candidates go out and then they try and sell them to them. And now there's actually the two Harbaugh brothers facing off in the Super Bowl. And the NFL is like threatening him with a lawsuit to make him take down his patent, his trademark. That's ridiculous. Like, they're going to drag this guy through the mud and take all his money when he had a great idea and got out ahead of him a little bit. I don't know how that works. I don't know. Getting some messages from the peanut gallery here. Ah, jeez. So, while I'm waiting for Roy to call in, I think I might actually throw to one of the songs that I wanted to play so we can have some more time to interview. So, let's see. 3 songs of his. I'll pick one of them. Got Off the Wagon, Countdown to Regret, and Last Night. I'm going to play Off the Wagon. This is a Ribcage song. And it's fairly new. I think it's like a month old. It's called Off the Wagon. The other voice in there is Kyle Nabafeld. I'll see if I can get him on. I threw him an invite where he can make the phone call in if he wants to jump on tonight, but I'll be talking to Roy in a minute here. All right, this is Ribcage with Off the Wagon. What's up? I'm playing it. Can't you hear it? Oh, dang. I'm hearing it through my headphones. Little technical difficulties. Yeah. I have it plugged into 4. Uh-oh. All right, sounds good.
Girls are irrational and weird. I try to steer clear of that conversation when I look into your eyes. I'm stuck down staring at my beer. I hope I sound sincere, 'cause I'm too high. We gotta get out of this rest. There's a party where we do sit up. It's a long ride to the wrong side of town, but everybody wants to get down.
Hey, Roy.
What's going on, man?
Oh, man. We had a little bit of technical difficulty. I was trying to play one of your songs, but we couldn't, so I played one of your songs.
Oh, nice.
The switched off song was "Baby I Was on a Roll," which is unofficially unreleased.
Yes.
Yes, that's off of the Guest Stars album. But how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. I just got done with a long, long day at work. We're on the internet. Can I swear?
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Okay, cool. I just want to, you know me, my mouth. I need to check. I just worked a long, long day, sir.
Yeah, you painting?
Yeah, I'm getting my contractor on.
That's a beautiful life of an artist. You got to kind of do whatever you got to do, right?
Pretty much. I guess the realities of indie musicianship.
Dude, I love it because you're like one of the most hardworking dudes I know. You know what I mean?
You. I try.
Like in music and everything else, you're so prolific and you put out so many different things across the scope. I was talking earlier about how many different types of sounds you put out and you've recorded, and every one of them seems to be great. So good on you, man. You've been prolific in Spain.
Yeah, I keep trying to find different. I keep messing around. That's you caught me a little off guard asking me to be on such short notice because I had some tracks I've been working on for you with some different stuff. I guess I'm still trying to find different sounds.
Oh yeah, man. Anything you want to put out is going to be new now because I mean, I haven't had you on yet, so I got to break you.
I'm
you know what I mean?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I got to break you. I got to get all your stuff out there so everyone down here in Tampa Bay can hear, and hopefully people listening to the internet across the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. I'm working on a solo album right now. I don't know if you've been able to get any of the tracks to play off SoundCloud or not.
Yeah, man, I can play anything off SoundCloud now. We fixed the issue, so.
Hell yeah! Well, those are some early demos of some of the first singles I want to do off of it. It's going to be called Songs for Waitresses.
Nice. I like it.
Yes, and then also Ribcage is kind of working on some stuff too, so hopefully soon. We're just, like I said, I mean, like you said with sounds, really I'm just trying to capture as many different things as I can, and I do it all at home, so I'm kind of reaching the ultimate musical masturbation lately as I try to increase the quality of my home setup and what I can do.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about the album that you're working on that's a solo project. Is it different than Ribcage? Is it going to sound similar?
Well, it's very different from Ribcage in that Ribcage is definitely a more hip-hop thing, and this is more of a pop rock album. Definitely Jen's Apartment inspired, more of a throwback to that kind of songwriting, I guess.
Yes, sir.
And that's, I mean, I'm still kind of struggling with what I completely want to do with the sound.
Yeah.
As far as the album goes, because I've got a couple different versions of the same songs. Basically, some where I'll do more sparse arrangement, or I'll try to do more with piano, as opposed to other ones where it'll be more straight up rock, guitars and noisy and not too much out of the ordinary to it. But it seems like the songs, and I mean the songs at the core are pop songs, and so even when they're stripped down, they still are pretty much the same. It's just, I guess I'm trying to cover which range of energy I want to cover, really.
Yeah. Tell me, when you're experimenting, because obviously you're playing with different soundscapes, different instrumentations, and things like that. How much do you think about the listener? Are you doing anything to tailor to the listener, or is this entirely experimentation? Well,
I'm my biggest listener because I'm the one making the music. So I spend a lot of time exploring what the things I want to hear. Basically, and I mean, in a way, I mean, you're thinking about the listener because you're in what you're doing. You're trying to almost please someone else with it, because you want it to be heard eventually, and so I am consciously thinking about that. But I mean, at the same time, my whole thing, I mean, with music and me has always been, if I'm making something that I like, odds are, someone else will learn to appreciate it the same way. And I mean, you can't really try to cater to anybody. Not everyone is going to be in your fan club, but the whole point is to do, what you like the best, and then that way you'll find the best kind of audience for it. Because if it's what you like, you'll find people that are interested in that experience, and you'll probably connect better with those people than you were if you're trying to make music for someone that's not your audience.
Absolutely. Plus, I think if you're...
I like to be very personal with all my songwriting anyway, so I'm trying to speak to people that are on the same level. So, I am thinking about someone, but usually it's someone that is going to want to hear the same thing as me.
Absolutely. Keeping it close to home is a great way to make it more honest, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know last time you were on, we were talking a little bit about trying to write into your own experiences and making sure that you're saying something that you really feel. And you made a funny anecdote about writing songs in middle school and staying true to middle school experiences at that time. And I thought that was really funny, but it also kind of brought up another question. It's got to be hard sometimes to stick to your own experiences when maybe as a storyteller you want to do something that's different. And if you don't have any experience there, have you ever had to kind of put a censor on yourself and stop yourself from going in a certain direction?
I will say that at times it can be creatively stifling, and you do have to step outside yourself a little bit sometimes. I think my biggest issue is a lot of times you'll end up talking about the same thing, because when you're speaking to what is true and what's important to you and things you want to talk about, some people are versatile and they can, explore tons of things, but for some of us, you kind of hit your limitation of subject matter unless you want to explore outside of yourself and your experiences. And obviously, as a poet and a songwriter, you do have, the lyricism in you to step outside the realm of your experiences. But I like to, even if I'm speaking outside my experiences, I don't like to speak about experiences I'm unfamiliar with.
Mm-hmm. Or that you can't relate to.
Yeah, well, I might talk about something, a story that's from someone that shares, my culture and my experience, but I wouldn't necessarily talk about something that I'm unfamiliar with and I don't know. You won't hear me singing songs about race cars because I'm not friends with a lot of people that ride race cars.
But you did see the movie Cars.
But you'll hear, but you will hear, you might hear me talk about something to do with, someone on welfare or working people, because they're people I've experienced with.
Man, you live in a mansion. You live in a mansion. What are you talking about?
yeah, I live it. Yeah, not quite there.
I thought all hip hop stars lived in mansions.
Yeah, no, it's not really like that, unfortunately.
What do you think about in hip hop? It's kind of a thing where people like to talk about money and all that, the fast lifestyle and that sort of thing. And honestly, they can't all be living, especially earlier on in their career. So, there's something kind of...
Well, you see, the thing is, there are rappers that do actually speak to real experiences where you won't hear, they actually will talk about the experience of struggling and, not living in a mansion, but... I don't know. I guess at the same time, like how there's songwriters that like to speak to their own experiences, there's people that like to speak to other people's experiences. I guess you could try to justify it by saying you're aspiring for something, but at the end of the day, I don't know that it necessarily is an appealing message when you're just kind of boistering about something that's not true.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely a lot of musicians with rented mansions and riches, and at the end, I don't know. You can be MC Hammer if you want to, but that's just not going to last forever.
Yeah, it's true. The other thing that's kind of difficult too is kind of hitting a moving target. If you're talking about getting, speaking to a demographic as it evolves. I know I read an interview one time with Manchester Orchestra, and they were talking about how they played music that they enjoyed, and it wound up hitting and resonating with a group of people that were like them. So as they naturally matured and progressed throughout their career, they continued playing music that they enjoyed, which changed, and it kind of changed alongside their friends. So I'm wondering, as like a hip hop artist, and you're speaking to experiences, maybe you have different experiences than those who would be like you and grow in a different direction. How'd you kind of bridge that gap? You know what I mean? What if in a year you're like actually experiencing like the fast life.
Right.
You know what I mean? How do you do that?
Well, I definitely am not in the slow one to begin with. But, I think, it's important to change, and I think you'll see, I always think that dynamic is really interesting, too, with bands, because those are usually the best bands and the best musicians are the ones that can evolve.
Yeah.
But you'll notice through their fans kind of the unwillingness to change of people, because you'll see there are, of course, the people that evolve with them, which are natural progressing adults, and then there's people that hate the change and always will. The fan that's their earlier stuff was so much better. And I always think it's kind of a funny example of how people are, because you know how there's always the people that are always the same.
Oh yeah.
And then there's the people that are normal people for the most part, tend to grow as they get older and mature. And I love the parallel with bands and music.
Yeah. I feel like,
but I don't know. It's like if I were doing different stuff in a year than I'm doing now, of course I would talk about it. And like I said before, with you're not always gonna be in everybody. Everyone's not gonna always want to be in your fan club. And that's kind of part of the thing. Is like sometimes you lose some people when you change. But like I said, as long as the bands and musicians that are always honest to themselves are the ones that usually tend to stick around the longest.
That's true. And sometimes you lose fans if you're not, if you don't pay attention to them. And right now I have to pay attention to a fan and ask you, Roy Kirby, boxers or briefs?
I'm a boxers person personally.
Oh yeah.
I suppose I could see the benefits of briefs, but
you like to keep it loose, huh?
But personally, yeah, boxers fan.
All right, man. Hey, I would like to personally invite you.
We love together, man. I like to keep it.
You like to keep it real loose. Sometimes too loose. Since this is on the internet, I can briefly touch on it. We don't have to go too much into this, but I believe
we can touch all you want.
I believe there was a porn war in our apartment at some point. That's all I'll say.
We had a lot of fun.
We did. I remember one of my favorite memories that just kind of sums up when I lived with you and Matt was going to Sam's Club and getting huge boxes of mac and cheese and animal crackers.
Yeah. I think my favorite thing was I can't even remember what we were looking for. We were looking for paper towel or something. And we couldn't, we're looking everywhere for it. And eventually we find it, and it's in some cupboard, and it was next to, it was the most abstract cupboard. It had the weirdest items. Of course, it's next, to the kitty litter in the cupboard. I don't even remember what it was. It's been so long. But it was so funny, because it was just, I don't know, it was just a house of boys. It was just kind of shove stuff everywhere. I remember we had the, Derek, the cat.
Oh,
and,
God, yeah.
When he made his own litter box, because there was a extra bag of litter stored away in a box stacked away somewhere, and he hopped up in there and ripped the bag open and just started shitting in the box.
He was fun.
Yeah, he was a fun guy.
Yeah. So life is interesting. Okay, when you're an artist.
Actually, I was gonna say when you talk about Sam's Club, you're kind of bringing me back to what you were saying earlier about being in a different spot and how your things change. Now I talk a bunch of shit about Sam's Club and its Walmart connections, and I would never go there. But back then, we were going there and buying all this food.
That's true. I mean,
yeah.
So where are you going now for your groceries? This is what everyone wants to know. Where does Honorable Judge Roy Kirby shop for groceries?
Well, I've got a couple. I like to spread my shopping out a little bit. There's a meat market on the corner of Washington and Miller here in Lansing, Michigan, the South Washington Food Market, and I go there for all my meat, hamburger, and things.
Nice.
And most general produce I pick up at the local Meijer.
I love it.
Yeah.
So if you're okay, so I know with the hip hop, you kind of have a message. If
occasionally we actually have a lot of ribcage material versus what we've actually put out for people to hear.
Yeah.
Because there has been a lot of message heavy put out stuff, but we also get a little bit silly too.
Yeah. If you listen to the if you listen to the lyrics, you definitely run the gamut between serious and like what?
Yeah, well, I mean, our whole thing is, I mean, we just try to go to a place where, I don't know, you wouldn't expect us, or maybe a lot of other people aren't going.
Yeah. And you don't
Just
take
an
yourselves
attempt
too
to be
seriously.
different.
Yeah. When you guys write, do you write together? Yourself and Kane?
I mean, typically, we have a very scattered. Can you hear my? I gotta know. Can you hear my puppy barking in the background?
I can kind of hear a little bit.
I got this new little guy. He's adorable.
Aw.
But he's a little shit. So he's barking at his brother. But anyway, we got a mixed process. I mean, the other day while we were writing together, you know, it depends because I'll make a beat or whatever, and I might have an idea for it with what I want to do, or I might write something to it, and then I'll send it to him, and he'll come over, and he'll have something prepared, and, you know, so we'll write separately that way. Other times, you know, I might have a beat ready, but I won't have anything written, and I'll hold off on writing it until we can get together, and we'll write together, and we'll bounce off each other with where we want to go with it. It really depends. I mean, it depends on the song, and then, like, some stuff, like, we had a song where I had, you know, a verse written for it, and then I sent it to him, and he had written a verse, and he came over, but we didn't have a chorus, and then we came together and wrote the chorus together. And that's Off the Wagon, actually.
Yeah. So
which I don't know if you've got a chance to play in the area.
I've not played any songs on the air yet. I'm kind of curious. We'll probably play that one here in a second, just so that the fans can hear it, because I definitely want to get you some exposure. I'm curious. Do you feel like, because I know with bands, it typically happens where when you sit down and you write the song all at once, they turn out to be usually the better songs if they all come out at once. But clearly that can't really happen with the hip hop and collaboration and that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, it really all depends, you know, like, because I've had times where everyone's writing together and it, you know, it turns into just one long jam session that doesn't really have a lot of focus as far as songcraft goes. I've always been a fan of having at least a skeleton for something available.
Yeah. And then you just kind of add the little twists and turns and things when you're with the rest of the group.
Yeah, well, I mean, it really depends on what you're doing, because, yeah, I mean, the difference between the hip-hop stuff and a live band is huge just because of, you know, the way that you're making the music to begin with. Cutting samples or, you know, working up stuff on a drum machine is a whole lot different than, you know, hey, man, toss me a G, B minor, 7.
Yes, sir. Speaking of...
but, I mean, I don't know. They're all great. I mean, my biggest thing is I like making music. That's always been my favorite thing. And the recording process and working a song out piece by piece has always been, like, my favorite part of the process. And that's what I love about hip-hop is it is that process, like, personified.
Absolutely. It's complete. It's more alive, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I like the idea. As a musician, I love you know, messing with the same idea and noodling, you know, every little inch or noise I want out of it. Mm-hmm. Now, as a listener, no one wants to hear you jam, you know, for hours and hours, especially if it's on the same idea. Even Fish fans get tired at some point.
Yes, sir.
So that's what I love so much about being in the studio is just how you can play around with, you know, the same song, the same idea, and you can pull so many little different angles out of it. And that's what I love about hip hop too, is it's very similar to blues in that your structure or whatever, your parts, what you're doing with your overall, usually you'll stick to the same kind of progression or a similar pattern. And then just with that, what would seem like a simple skeleton, making it complex in all these different, you know, subtle or not so subtle ways.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So speaking of
Like I said, musical masturbation really at its finest.
yes, sir. musical masturbation sometimes brings out the best in us. Sometimes you just got to go.
Yeah,
for
it's
it.
always been one of my favorite terms, that's for sure.
So I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but the Roots are working together with Elvis Costello to put out an album that should be out later this year. Personally, I would pay an exorbitant amount of money to have this album. I don't know. What do you think, my friend?
I'm very interested. Because this is the first I've heard about it.
Yeah.
No, that actually would be very interesting. I'm a big fan of both. And they're both very different. So Elvis Costello would do something like that.
Yeah, he would. He's off the wall.
That kind of guy. Yeah, he's a fantastic musician. They actually, you'll hear it eventually, but I'm working on a beat that samples Allison.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm a fan, needless to say. So hopefully they don't beat me to it.
Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and throw to Off the Wagon now. Do you mind staying on the call? I think we got some people who might want to call and chat with you. If you mind staying on for a few.
No, not at all.
Awesome. So, right now we got Honorable Judge Roy Kirby. Thank you so much for calling in. And
no problem.
We're gonna play Ribcage track Off the Wagon. And when he comes back, we'll have Roy and hopefully a couple call in. Some folks want to chat with you. All right.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Let's listen.
I'm the first breath of man, let me paint the picture before you clouded your morals with illusions of scripture. I was there, cracking rocks for fire, before there was crack rocks, we smoked weed and spied. Now let me take you back, way more than 3,000 years. Moses might have parted seas, I split blunts, no fear. How many tall tales define your religion? How many facts do you have in your bag of opinions? Nothing more than a magician pulling tricks and shit. Speak inspired words, and then we plead the fifth. Yo, your good deeds will just get you killed. Real change costs blood and lots will get spilled. In the meantime, gunning for everybody running. Democrats or Republicans, we ain't giving them nothing. Keep your money in the streets, keep the safe under the house. When the feds ask you to talk, man, close your mouth. Goddamn!
Did we fall off the wagon?
Have we been out of practice?
Are we off of the axis?
Are we chasing the dragon?
Is the ambition lagging?
Do we envision futures only based on others' reactions?
Do we just waste time
with our money?
With gumption? Do we just waste time
with our sunny assumptions?
Do we just waste time putting food on the table? Do we just waste time with our myths? I'm eating books. I barely have time to read them. Overdose on pages and bindings like they were notos and fajitas till I'm filled up. And everywhere I go, I walk my ass. Still broke as fuck like an auto-boarded nutsack. But yo, I wreck a verse like cars get paraplegia. The clock's ticking like tardive dyskinesia. Antipsychotics like I don't like you for who you are. Another product of modern problems and empty bars. I clear the slate like I empty bookshelves and plates and wash my hands of the scum that takes part in the legislation about my funds like Jesus and his guns. That shit don't come up, still underground like a spud. Overarching concern about men grabbing asses. A government tied to the exodus of reason and respect for the masses. How it is might just be a reaction. Then we give you rib cage. This is how we make it happen.
Goddamn!
Did we fall off the wagon?
Have we been out of practice?
Are we off of the axis?
Are we chasing the dragon?
Is the ambition lagging?
Do we envision futures only based on others' reactions?
Do we just waste time
with our money?
With gumption? Do we just waste time
with our sunny assumptions?
Do we just waste time putting food on the table? Do we just waste time with our myths?
With fables?
All right, Level 3 Radio.
This motherfucking life I lead.
What's going on?
Level 3 Radio, we back like Simba the Pride Rock to kick Mufasa's ass. Look out.
You like that guitar solo in there?
Oh,
I put on
man.
there?
I love it because
You
you mix in
never
your
tell
live
that that's
stuff.
a Supreme song I sampled, could you?
Oh man, you mix in the stuff. It's beautiful because it sounds like this kind of like old timey mix, but then you mix in these live things that you do over the top of it, and it's just instrumentation is perfect. I love it. You're getting so good at this stuff.
Thank you. I've been practicing real hard.
Oh man, so I gotta say this, Level 3 Radio. You were on the show, I think show 2 or show 3, and I can't remember how far back it was, but pretty early on. And show's grown quite a bit since then. We probably could have afforded to fly you out, but your nose wouldn't fit in the studio. So sorry, bro.
Next time. Hopefully, maybe I'll be in Florida by next winter. I'm hoping I'll have a good summer working, and then by the winter time I can go out to Florida and go to Universal. So I'll have to come do a show in the studio.
Absolutely, man. We'll have to build a bigger studio so we can fit that nose in here.
Right. Oh, you bastard.
Always got to bust your chops about the nose, my friend.
Right. We have some.
Absolutely. So I got some friends probably who want to call in and chat with you here, but it's kind of a free-for-all at that point. But I just wanted to kind of ask you a couple questions about maybe some instrumentation that you do when you're recording onto this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, how do you pick a song? This is a beautiful thing about sampling. How do you hear a song and go, you know what, I like that piece, and I'm gonna write a song with that piece?
Right. Well, it's kind of crazy because sometimes you won't even end up with what you originally intended. Like that Off the Wagon is the Supreme song, Time to Break Down. And originally I had a loop of the chorus, and what I ended up doing was not that at all. I just cut up a bunch of random spots and hits and sounds out of the song and pieced it together into a melody, and then I put drums to it. And I pulled it. Well, I guess filters are a beautiful thing. With filters you can take a song, like I said, I was able to string together a melody out of notes and pieces of a song to make, a progression that wasn't even in the original song. And then with filters, I can take that and I can suck out the high-end frequencies and I can make it sound like the bass line to go along with, whatever hits I pulled out. And then, I can throw live guitar on top of it. I can throw piano on top of stuff, thanks to the wonder of, plugins and music generators. Oh, hello.
Hello.
We got the callers already.
We do. We got. Is
Everybody say hi. Hi. Oh, they're an exciting bunch.
I believe we have the lovely Sarah Matt Miller, my fiance, and we have Caitlin Barshaw. And is Joe over there too?
He sure is.
Oh, we got Joe there.
Oh, we got Joe. Look out! Look out!
It's good to hear Joe's voice.
Welcome to Level 3 Radio.
Let's take a minute to talk about Joe Barshaw for a second.
Oh, absolutely.
Because speaking of songwriting, Joe Barshaw is probably Lansing's most underappreciated songwriter.
Oh, man.
I would say by far.
I might agree. Joe's one of the most
really,
humble guys that you'll ever meet.
Joe is very talented.
But he's also humble.
Yeah, Joe is ridiculously humble. It's almost offensive how humble Joe can be.
Joe, you're offending everyone.
I know, but still.
No, Joe's too good to be that humble.
Joe, what you working on?
You and I should get back together and do some more collaborations, right?
Absolutely. Well, does Joe have a phone anymore?
What's up?
Does Joe have a cell? Last time I heard, your cell phone was off.
Oh yeah, I'm going upstream. I turned off my cell phone. I've got a landline now.
We're on the show.
I love. Oh, yeah, it sounds like it. I love this misconnections over the radio show, by the way. This is awesome.
It's beautiful.
Yes. Lansing,
yes.
You know, I gotta
Yeah.
say,
Yeah, no, I love the Lansing through Lansing via Florida. This is beautiful.
it's awesome. Hey, I've been trying for a long time to figure out if there was anything maybe still going on with guest stars. Can I at least get It's Not Dead?
It'll never die.
All right.
That's for sure. And you got me and Joe on the phone, so.
Is the album gonna come out, please?
See, the album has to come out. I guess that's my hope too. This summer, I'm hoping that I can finally make enough money to have it mastered and properly released.
Beautiful.
Yeah, oh man, mastering that. Yeah, that costs a pretty penny. It was what,
Yeah, it's a little expensive. I'm a little too prideful to go on to what's that Kickstarter.org website.
Oh, do it, man. Crowdfunding is beautiful because it gets people to know who you are at the same time as, funds your project.
Absolutely. Well, Joe, you want to get together and make a stupid video to put on Kickstarter?
Make what?
I think me and Joe need to get together and make a video to put on Kickstarter if we're going to try to do that.
Okay, yeah, I think so.
All right.
I think that's a great idea.
So then, I think maybe we could play it. We'll just play the whole. We'll play the whole album acoustic. Kardashian, what?
I was just thinking of the theme that we could do for the music video.
Yes.
There's tons of music in the videos that I watch.
That sounds pretty awesome. I've got a good proposal. Me and Joe could play the whole album acoustic.
Do it.
Ooh.
Do it.
We could almost broadcast it on Level 3 Radio.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing. So actually, there is a bigger studio down here that has it set up. Even in this one, it's big enough where we could do some acoustic stuff. If y'all were down here, I'm just saying.
That'd be fantastic.
I know Joe's gonna be down here. Oh gosh, Joe's gonna be down here for the wedding. Yeah.
Well, when's the wedding, dude? I haven't heard about the wedding yet.
Oh, so the wedding is April 28th down here. It's gonna be real small, yo. But then we're doing a party up there.
It's gonna be in the studio, right?
Yeah.
So the wedding's in the studio live on the air. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, it's Frodo changed our plans. Sorry, babe. We're doing the wedding live in the studio on air.
Awesome. That sounds fantastic, dude. It's gonna be a beautiful ceremony, I'm sure.
No, Sarah, I'm running it by you right now. That's the thing.
Oh, you're taking me on the spot.
Sarah, with a white pirate flag. Yes, with a white pirate flag right here behind me. Yeah.
Yeah. See, she sounds like the luckiest girl to me.
Oh yeah. Style like that don't come around too often. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's true. They don't.
So
I'm excited for you guys, though.
I'm excited for you, Roy.
I know. Yeah, we need to. We need to work on a day too. We had a huge issue with our house. Our house was full of mold, and we had to move out and get rid of a bunch of our stuff and buy all new stuff. So that set us back a little bit.
Yeah, I bet. Ouch.
Yeah. So we're still teetering around in that. We still want to do. We want to do something next fall, hopefully, or if not that, the following spring.
Nice. And you guys, are you still doing the gangster theme?
Oh, absolutely. Well, see, that's the thing is we're very particular about what we want, and so we're gonna have to wait for it, because we want to do it right.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I mean, Nightmare Before Christmas weddings don't come along every day.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, how many chances do you get to play Al Capone at your own wedding? So
it's gonna be awesome. You getting a Tommy gun? Are you gonna have a Tommy gun?
Oh, absolutely. We actually, I think we talked about this before on the last time I was on the show. We got a guy that's got an old 1920s Ford. Got some bullet holes in it, so we're pretty excited.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Do I get a gun at our wedding?
Yeah,
I think Paris needs a gun there, Rory.
I think every bride deserves a gun. It keeps the husband in line, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, she's got other ways to keep the husband in line, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, realistically, though, if we're doing the pirate theme wedding, hun, then, I mean, maybe you can get a cutlass.
You're right.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Cutlass wasn't as dependable as car.
Yeah.
Those old pirate guns are devastating.
Brother with the flintlock idea. I like it. Beautiful. Yeah, so you guys are just kind of you guys are still a little wild on the date though, Roy?
Oh yeah, I mean, you know us. We fly by the seat of our pants anyway.
Hey, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, so, I mean, things like I said, things. I mean, we had to move out of our house last minute, and we got really fortunate. We were able to find, something real quick. We drove, around the south side looking for rent signs, basically, and we found one in an area we liked, and it just so happened to be, I guess, when we talked to the guy, he'd just put the sign out like an hour before.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I mean, we struggle a little bit, but things usually always pull together and work out for us in the end. So that's where kind of approaching the wedding with the same kind of logic.
It all wraps up with a nice, pretty little bow. Hey, I gotta actually draw this one to a close here. I want to go out with Last Night, so I want to have enough time to play that. But thanks to Honorable Judge Roy for jumping on. Thanks to our guests, Sarah, Caitlin, and Joe for calling in. I believe Joe Barshoff, you're available perhaps next week. Maybe we can have you jump on. But today we're gonna play off. Yeah, can I get maybe a little bit of a?
I'm verify Joe. Get him quick.
Joe, verify quick.
Fine.
Next week, awesome, cool.
All right, next week, Joe Barshaw.
Yes. All right, so we got Honorable Judge Roy Kirby with Last Night. Thanks, Roy, for being on.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Good on you. Hey, thanks to Talk Wild Radio for putting us on, and Nerdcore Radio. Shout out. End of the show. We'll see you next week. Thanks so much.